Welcome to VizCom Studios. We formed this business originally about 10 years ago when we realized there wasn't really a good way for people to get video shot for their businesses at an affordable price.
So today I wanted to go over Google Business Profile. How many of you guys use Google Maps? Just show of hands. Should be everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jordan. I've been a web developer and search engine optimization consultant for over 15 years. So definitely have been doing this for a long time. So I wanted to go over this because in my belief, every local business needs to be on Google. You need to have a website. You know, Google controls at least 70% of the market for all local search. So, we all have cell phones, so anytime we're looking for a place to eat, place to go to, we're probably using Google Maps in one way or another. So we're going to be going over, first of all, what is Google Business? We're going to tell you why. I'm going to walk you through of actually setting up a Google Business Profile from A to Z. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do as a business to help you rank. Because once you create your Google Business Profile, unfortunately, you don't just get this influctuation of just, rains of all these customers. We would love to have all these customers pouring in, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. So there are some things that you need to do to be able to get, your Google business ranked up a little bit higher so you get more eyes on it. And then I'm going to cover a couple of common issues, some things to kind of look for, things like if you ever get flagged, kind of that step that you need to do to contact Google to get your business reinstated. Some common errors and some common things that you may see that look a little bit suspicious that you need to keep your eye on as well. So, first of all, what is Google Business? It's a free tool from Google to help you manage your business online. Helps you appear on Google Search as well as Google Maps. Allows customers to find information about your business, leave reviews, and also ways for you to update your business about new sales and things that are going on within your company. Why it's important? I mean, every business, like I said before, Google owns a pretty big market share. I mean, most businesses and people that are searching, they're using Google in one way or another. Just a little kind of tidbit here, just a little bit of data with over 60% utilization. It's to discover local businesses, and the completed profile can result in 7 times more clicks compared to an incomplete one. So I'm going to cover actually setting up the actual Google business here in just a minute, but I wanted to kind of go over a couple things here. I'm going to talk a little bit about ranking first and some of these things because just the way that things are going with Google, sometimes it's a good idea to set up some of these things first, and it helps you. I know some people have been having problems with actually getting verification. By kind of working backwards a little bit, it helps you kind of validate that business a little bit better to Google, so it makes the process a little bit easier. I'm going to talk about something called prominence. This is something that Google uses within their Google Business Profile algorithm to help you actually get better rankings and be seen by more customers. And that all comes down to branding. And the way that you can do that, you want to set up your Facebook profile, your Instagram. If you actually look within your Google Business Profile, there's a whole section which I'll go over today where you can actually put in your social profiles directly in there. Also, it's a good idea to get into some major directories, which are called citations. Those are going to be things like yellowpages.com, superpages.com, Yelp. Also getting into other places like Bing and Apple Maps. So you got to think about where are your customers looking as well. They're not just looking on Google. A lot of us have iPhones. iPhones cover a little over 50% of the market. So the first default that people are using on their iPhone when they're looking for a business, especially if they're talking to Siri, is Apple Maps. So you definitely want to be on Apple Maps as well. Review sites are big too. So those are going to be places like yellowpages.com, Foursquare, and even Yelp. Yelp is still definitely a big player in the market. So Yelp is definitely going to be one that you want to be on. Especially if you're a restaurant owner, things like that. Restaurants seem to be one of the first places that people go to actually look for a restaurant is Yelp. I like to do a lot of this work first before you set up your Google business, because one thing that Google looks like this looks like they're a real business, that they're being found in a lot of these other directories and things like that. It just helps you validate a little bit easier so that you can actually get that verification to go through. Any questions?
You mentioned other search engines like Bing, Apple, Yahoo, ChatGPT. Like, is there like a place where we sign up for something like that?
So you can actually, Bing is a little bit different, because we'll probably do Bing last, because when you first set up your Google business profile, you can actually sync up your Bing listing if you have a Google business profile first. So you'll probably want to do that like towards the end.
Oh, so top switch.
Yep. There's a lot of companies that will offer some of these other directories as kind of a one-time fee. Sometimes a low monthly fee, so you don't have to do a lot of the work, because a lot of times you're getting into these directories, there could be 40 of the top directories that you'll want to get into, but it's a lot of data entry work. So there are companies out there. One of them is called Yext. It's yext.com. They're a great company. They partner with a lot of these bigger directories to be able to list all your business information directly in there. Within a couple of days, you get put into all these directories. I'm going to cover a little bit things about relevance. Relevance, these are things that what Google looks at. This is basically how your future customer is typing in to Google search to find your type of business. So again, if you're a travel advisor, they might be saying, looking for a travel advisor near me, travel advisor in Concord, California. The fact that you have travel advisor in your business name, that's one of the best things that you can do for ranking on Google Maps. And then we'll cover some of these other things here in just a minute when we go and create the Google business profile, but they also look for the content that's actually on your website. You want to make sure that your website's tied in with your business listing. And then the last thing I'm going to cover is distance. This is another thing called proximity. The way that Google Maps works is it's derived from a couple of different things. One, if people are using an Android phone, Android is actually owned by Google, so they have a lot more data that Google can track. So they're looking at your history, places that you've gone. If you have an Android phone, you may notice that sometimes you'll have like a little notification pop up. Hey, it looks like that you went to Viscom Studios. How was it? And they'll actually even prompt you to leave a review because it recognizes where you've been. So Android's a little bit different when it comes to that. iPhone, we don't give that information to Google, so that's a little bit more privacy there. But also too, it's tracked with IP addresses, which is basically just a numerical number that locates where you're actually using the internet. And then also GPS, which is basically the actual latitude, longitude coordinates of where you're physically located, where that user is physically located. So if I'm looking for a video production studio, I'm literally right here. I hope that Don's business is going to show because I'm literally right here at his business. And then, traffic too. This is how we actually help increase some of the visibility of where we can be found online. So if you do have an address, for example, that people can drive to and visit your business, that's one way that kind of help you get some visibility. If we get people coming from Benicia, from San Francisco, Oakland, Pleasanton, Brentwood, coming into this video production studio, getting those driving directions coming in here kind of sends a signal out to Google. They say, okay, well, a lot of people are coming to visit this business. Well, maybe I should actually show them a little bit wider radius. So I'm going to go ahead and cover just how to set up your Google business. I'm just going to show this only because this kind of gives you an indicator. If you do fall under these categories, more than likely, you're only going to have a couple possibilities of ways to verify, and then Google's going to be a little bit more strict where they're going to require some more information. It's very common that if you're in one of these categories, you're probably going to get suspended first, and that's no reason to freak out and like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get this up. The reason why they do this is because Google wants to actually manually verify your business, and they want to do that by you need to show them proof that you actually exist. So making sure that you have a business license, making sure that if you actually are showing your business, you probably have a contract with PG&E, Xfinity, so they may ask you for like a power bill, Xfinity bill. Or sometimes they may want to actually have you show photos, photos of like the street. Over here it said 110 on the big building. They may want to have you show a picture of that. Do a panorama of the actual street view, maybe the front door if you have some signage and things like that. Sometimes they'll even have you do a video verification, where in that case they want about a 60-second video of you literally showing the street that you're on, the street sign, the building number, and then you actually physically walking into the office, showing the office. Maybe you have some business cards. Depending on the type of business, you may want to show, some of the tools that you use, like if you're a plumber, if you have some work vans that you can park out in front of the office. They just want to see some type of proof that you exist.
What about if it's a home business?
If it's a home business, then it's going to be a little bit different. They give you an option to be able to create a business where you can actually hide the address so you don't have to have people coming to you. But I just wanted to at least show this so that if you are one of these types of businesses, you probably are going to be required to show a little bit more information.
Is travel advisory?
I don't think travel.
Control Apple F or Control F? Travel. So if it's not on there, so we don't necessarily have to. No, it's not nothing. Yeah, so you should be able to bypass that.
I don't know what I clicked. I don't know how to verify my business.
So let's say we're do Don's travel planning.
Okay. Travel agency. Oh, so which
Did you do travel agency? Probably.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it would be an agency. But it's just me.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that category.
So this is an important part too, because this is where you're going to decide if you want to show your address or if you don't want to show your address. If you work from home and you do have people coming to you, you still want to have some type of like signing on your door. You still have to kind of show that you do operate a business. Just be careful in California, because if you operate a business at your home and you have customers going there, they're going to probably want to see some type of permit or something like that. So try to be a little bit discreet on you doing that. But if you do not necessarily have people coming to your home address, or even if you have an office that people don't typically come to get service, then you're going to want to go ahead and click no here.
Okay, so it's okay to click that.
No. This isn't crucial. You don't really have to do this, but this is just a way for you to type in, like the area served, so we can do something like Contra Costa County. I'm going to put a phone number here.
Is that a real phone number?
Yeah. And I'll put in
New website. Yeah. Address provide. Should we'll put this address here.
If you do have an office, I always recommend putting the suite number in the first line, because there have been bugs in the past if you put it in the first line, it looks a little funky on Google Maps. Sometimes they'll put the suite number in front of the actual street address. So just be careful doing that. But yeah, if you have a website, I recommend putting everything on there. One thing that I tell people, business owners, don't worry about being honest, worry about being transparent. The more that you can show to your customers, to search engines, to directories, the better off you are. If you have a business license and you have 20 years or 15 years of being a travel agent, and you've worked for this company and this company, show as much information about you as you can. If you have a license, if there's a special license for your type of industry, display that license on your website. Google does use this information to verify that your business is legit. Especially in California, if you're a contractor, you have to show your contractor's license on your vehicles, on your website, everything, all of your advertising. So it's really important that you have a lot. That's why I say have all this stuff kind of set up first, and give some time. That way Google can kind of say, okay, hey, this business is real. A lot of times too, depending on the county that you actually file your business, eventually some of that information gets published online, because there's a lot of like aggregator data companies that will buy business information to resell it to, marketing people. So definitely you want to set some of this stuff up first, and that's why I say that.
Cool.
So always try to do phone if you can. Actually do an actual, actually get the phone call. Once I click next here, it'll give me an option to do a text message or a phone call. I always like to do a phone call.
In case of a fast pickup, we ask you to let us know that you are not a voicemail system, so you need to press 1 to take this call.
That's a nice little,
Hello. Thank you for using Google Phone Verification. Remember, you should not share this code with anyone else, and no one from Google will ever ask for this code. Your code is 8554339. Again, your code is
verified? That's it?
Well, I don't know if it's live yet.
What?
Probably not, but
Is that photos?
yeah, I would definitely recommend putting photos in the budget just for this example. So it'll say processing. Sometimes if you do a lot of the legwork first, a lot of times these will get like verified right away. Also too, when you set up your Google business, I recommend that you use a company email. So if you have a website, you definitely want to utilize that. You'll want to go to Google Workspace. To set up your email with them. So if you have something like that, it comes up to being like $7.20 a month for their basic plan. That's all you really need for this. But it's a good way to kind of use, you can use Google for all of your email, but I recommend using this especially for Google Business. It's just another kind of trust factor that Google looks at by using a company email rather than like a personal Gmail account. And then just kind of coming through here, you definitely want to put a description in here. This is just a way for users and customers to kind of see what a little bit about your business. You can put an opening date on here if you'd like. And then there's a section here where you can actually put in all your social profiles. So your Pinterest, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I definitely recommend putting these into your profile if you do have
updated their Twitter thing to X.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought about that too. But that's fine. Don't change it to the other one.
Yeah, and TikTok, but we'll see what happens
Really,
with TikTok.
that is the authentic one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you are a physical business, these are just things that you can put in here, special hours. If you can put in different attributes in here. If you want to display those in your Google Business. Crowd, planning, service options, things like that. And then there's a lot of things in here that really gives you an opportunity to show customers, users, what your business does without even having them to go to your website. And one of those you can put in your products. So if there's particular products that you offer, in your particular case in the travel agency, you can put that in there. Services, so you can display, exactly what you do. You can, hotel accommodations, travel planning. You get to customize whatever you want in here. So you can do travel planning. We can put in, cruises.
Wellness retreats,
Wellness.
safaris.
Insert divorce destinations.
Exactly. Clothing optional.
So we can go ahead and save that, and then we can actually come back in here, and under each one we can actually write a little blurb. So maybe if you're travel planning, you want to put your pricing in here, you can put different pricing options in there. You can write a little blurb in there, just kind of a brief summary of what that service is.
Is that good? Because
This has been there for a while. It will change a little bit depending on the category. So
Oh,
you may
okay,
not
okay.
see service for some types, but if like a restaurant, you're not going to see services. You'll probably see menu. But yeah, I mean, everything that you see within this section here, I mean, there's definitely a reason why Google has these. It's really, they want to keep, your users on their platform and not go to your website. So it's a good way for you to use it. It's advantageous for you to use this for your business. So, it's a good opportunity for you to showcase. Photos is great too. Photos is really, really important. Don't use stock photos. If you can have photos of you with a client, maybe they send you a picture of like, hey, thank you so much for planning my safari, and they give you a picture of the safari. It's an opportunity for you to really showcase what you do and all the clients and how great they are.
I use stock photos for on the updates. When you add update,
Yeah.
I mean, is that okay using stock
Yeah.
photos there?
Yeah, I mean, for your business, probably. But
That's like a blog I have. It's general,
yeah, for
like-
something like that, it's probably usually okay. But definitely for video production, if he's got pictures of him actually like shooting, and again, it's about being transparent, not honest. So you want to show everything that
How
you
do you
can. as well.
distinguish between transparent and honest?
So I say that it's like, especially in your content, it's you see it all the time. We're an honest business. We've been in business for. It's like, well, how can you show honesty? And that's really showcasing your work and showcasing. There's a section in here too, and other sections in here like questions and answers, where actually people can actually ask questions about your business, and then you as a business owner can answer it. Also, other users. Actually, I can probably show.
So he says it's saying 5 days, but you said there's sometimes where it's instant.
Sometimes it's instant, and when you do a lot of the legwork first, sometimes that's what kind of helps you show up instantly.
Max, what'd you search?
This is Max Locksmith. They're a big locksmith in Walnut
I
Creek.
know they are. Yeah, that's why. Why'd you search them? Just because they got their.
I know who they are. Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah.
They
I owned a locksmith company for a long time, and
Yeah.
but yeah, like questions and answers here, you can see, users can ask different questions about the business. Can I do a walk-in appointment? So it's a good way to kind of showcase also, and answer some questions. And then also too, so we went over product, services, bookings. If you do have, sometimes you can put a secondary website URL here. So if you have an actual booking page for your travel business, where mainly customers go to actually plan everything, then that would be a great place to put that for the booking. Update, this is just a way for you to share, maybe if you have special offers for travel, to kind of showcase any special deals that you have, maybe any updates that come to travel. This year they just passed that in United States, you have to have a special driver's license now to even fly. So that would be something you may want to kind of showcase, that people can find some additional information by doing that post. So it's just another way for customers and users to engage with your business. And then performance, this is where you're going to see, a lot of the actions that are happening. It's going to see, how many people have maybe did driving directions to your business. How many times people saw your business when they did a search, how many times people tried to visit your website, did a call to your business. So a lot of things that you can find information there that you can also see like what types of things people are searching for. Maybe they're searching for a travel agency in Concord, California, or they're looking for a travel agency in Brentwood. So you can kind of see what people are actually typing in Google to find you. And there's a couple things too, just kind of some upkeep, just a kind of couple of tips that you always want to keep track of. If you click on the three dots, click on business profile and settings. If you click on advanced settings, it gives you a unique identifier number here. Save this number and keep it with your records always, because if there's ever a time where your listing gets suspended for any reason, or anything like that, and you have all of your reviews, sometimes Google's not perfect. When they reinstate your business, sometimes your reviews get deleted or there's problems, you may lose some, and a lot of times what Google does, they'll actually create a new profile for you rather than actually just bringing your original one back up. And if this happens and you happen to come back and you lost all your reviews, save this ID number, and you can give that to Google and say, hey, here's my original customer ID number. Can you just help me kind of reinstate that original business profile, and then your reviews and all that history will come back. And there's some other things here. Google Assistant calls. This is just Google will contact you and check different things on your profile. If you do want to receive automated calls from Google, you can uncheck that. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily work because Google still will call you anyways to verify information, whether that's automated or physical or actual person calling you. Usually they will not actually call your business. You will not ever get someone saying, hey, we noticed that your services aren't done, your reviews, you haven't been responding to reviews. You'll never get a phone call like that ever. So if you ever get a phone call like that, usually it's probably someone trying to sell you something, trying to scam you, trying to do something. So keep that in mind. Store code you don't really have to worry about, but that's kind of a preset number. If you do have like additional locations, this usually applies for a physical business like a restaurant, anything that has a multi-branded location. Reviews too. There's a couple of things I want to cover. Reviews. Always ask your clients for reviews. One thing that's really helpful is ask them. It's okay to ask them, hey, I'm going to send you a request for a review. If you could just let me know, what city you're from, what type of service you got from me. The reason for that is a lot of the content that's actually in those reviews kind of helps you get some more visibility on Google Maps. But it's more of a natural way to ask for review to get the information that you want that's beneficial for you without kind of sounding too salesy or too pushy to ask for that review. So that's just kind of a nice little tidbit to, when you get those reviews, ask for a little bit of information from your customer. Yeah, and then lastly, always respond to the reviews, whether if it's a bad feedback or positive feedback, you always want to reply to them. If you had 100 people coming in here and you were teaching a class about video production, and they all, at the end of the session, you sent out and said, hey, thank you for coming in today. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a review, letting us know how your experience was, and it just happens to be that all 100 of those people left a review, there's no problem with that. There's some guidelines here too. If you ever have any help, unfortunately things do happen. Your listing gets suspended. There might have been something, you just updated something like the hours and it happened to be at Google's wrong time. Things do happen. This gives you a little guideline on how to go in and appeal. These are some things that you may have to show, especially if your business is actually showing the address, in this case like this business at Don's location. If he ever gets suspended, he may have to show a business license, your LLC, sole proprietor, whatever it is. I've never seen anyone actually having to show your tax number or anything like that, but that's one of the things in here. Utility bills, your PG&E bill, Xfinity bill, water bill, things like that. Home-based business, usually what will be okay is if you do have your internet utility under the business name, that would be a good thing to show. If you don't, just show them your business license, whether that be your LLC or doing business as, something like that. That's usually enough. And then it gives you some instructions on how to actually go in and file the appeal if that ever does happen. There's also a really great location here for kind of a help guide. This is a kind of general help guide if there's ever issues. If you ever need to contact Google for any reason, this will give you a really good resource to do that. There also is a Google Business help community, which is just a forum. So there's a lot of places, a lot of business owners that have issues. This may even be a good resource for you to say, hey, here's some comment. You may even find other travel agencies that, hey, I did this and I had this weird error in my Google Business profile. So this is a good place to kind of see, common things that may be happening that is your same issue.